Fans of the Batman, we finally have some news. With the release of The Penguin coming in just a matter of days now, Matt Reeves was interviewed and gave us some pretty interesting information to investigate. Kind of like how Batman investigates stuff, because he's awesome. But that is what we're going to be diving into today, so smash like, hit subscribe, and let's dig into some vengeance. So the vast majority of the news that's been coming out recently came from an interview that Matt Reeves had with SFX Magazine, and Deadline is reporting here, and so I kind of want to take this article piece by piece and just give my thoughts on it as we go. So let's dive in. Matt Reeves said, "The plan is to shoot next year and we're finishing up the script now. Colin Farrell will be a part of the movie. We've shared the script as we've been going along with DC and the studio, and they're super excited." And dude, I just gotta say, like, with how long of a journey it's been since The Batman came out, seeing that a script is actually getting close to done, and then like seeing that the studio likes it, and seeing that this movie is actually projected to start shooting next year, it's freaking huge news. After the first movie came out, I was like, man, I cannot wait just to start making video after video of Batman Part 2 news, and then it was just radio silence for what seems like years now. It's crazy that this is actually happening, but this article continues. Reeves noted that the Penguin, which stars Farrell as the Gotham City villain, is the entry point to the Batman sequel, and it's absolutely connected to where we leave things in the series. There are details that actually connect right into the way the next movie begins and the way that Oz enters the world as we hand the baton back to Batman. And Batman is on another case. And I will say, this is why it's so important, if you're a fan of the Batman, for you to check out The Penguin. They're putting heavy emphasis on how important that show is going to be, just to like the overall lore, the overall story of the Batman moving forward. But let's keep going here. Reeves added that the Batman Part 2 is going to dig into the epic story about deeper corruption, and it goes into places that he couldn't anticipate in the first one. The seeds of where this goes are all in the first movie, and it expands in a way that will show you aspects of the character you've never got to see. Batman is constantly battling these forces, but those forces can't be entirely exercised. So the next movie delves deeper into that, he said. And this is where I started to get that subtle feeling that this film's gonna dive into the Court of Owls. I don't know, people have been talking a lot about it, like the whole corruption being exposed thing in the first movie. It almost feels like that was just the tip of the iceberg, and a whole new black hole is about to open up and just be insane. I also can't shake this feeling that Clayface is going to be a part of it, and that Hush is going to somehow be a part of either this movie or the third movie. And I saw Matt Reeves talking about this, I forget exactly where it was, but he was just talking about how his films really want to emphasize the point of view of Batman, of Bruce Wayne, whereas other franchises might have had like a second installment that's just like kind of the Joker's movie. In this trilogy, or however many movies he makes, he wants each movie to be moving and progressing the story of Batman forward. He wants that mystery to continue to be unsolved. He wants it to take you places. And when you do that, you're still allowing for some amazing villain work, but you leave room for more than one. You know what I mean? And I don't know, when thinking about this next movie, it's really hard to tell what direction they're going to go into, but this kind of ties into the next part of the article. I'll continue here. He starts talking about the fantastical aspects. He says, what was important to me was to find a way to take these pop icons, these mythical characters that everybody knows, and translate it so that Gotham feels like a place in our world. We might push to the edge of the fantastical, but we would never go into full fantastical. It's meant to feel quite grounded, he said. And then he continues, it doesn't mean you won't see characters that people love. That's exactly what we want to do. Gentleman Ghost is probably pushed a bit too far for us to be able to find a way to do, but there is a fun way to think about how we would take characters that might push over into a bit of the fantastical and find a way to make sense of that. And is he talking about Clayface there? I don't know. It sounds like he's talking about Clayface. And I really love what he's saying here, and this is kind of what sandwiches the Batman movies in between, say, the Nolan trilogy and then the future DCU universe. He's willing to push the limits a bit, but not go full fantastical. The first movie succeeded in such a great way with that because everything's realistic, and then all of a sudden he pumps some like adrenaline into his leg, and you're like, whoa, what the hell was that? And something that I want people to remember, and this is also something that I think just differentiates his movies versus others, his movies are dark. Like, the next two movies are gonna be a darker exploration iteration of what the Batman character looks like than we've ever received. His Batverse is the one that I'd be most excited to see, like a Jonathan Crane or Professor Pig or even Clayface, just because the darkness of the story is going to be able to capture the darkness of the comics. And then him having those conversations with James Gunn, like, then that also leaves so much room for the future DCU just to be bonkers and fantastical and give us that side of Batman that we've been missing for a long while now. Like a Mr. Freeze would be so perfect there, or like a really cool Bane would be so perfect there. And there's actually a lot of noise online surrounding the fantastical subject, and I don't know, I don't really want to give the people that are freaking out over that any time of day, because I just don't give a shit, man. I love Batman. I love the Batman. I'm excited for the DCU's Batman. I'm excited for everything Matt Reeves is doing. Batman is just awesome. And personally this week, just seeing that Matt Reeves is starting to say some things are starting to come out as we move into next year and this movie starts shooting, it's just really exciting because there is going to be a lot of news. There is going to be a lot of stuff for us to talk about as a community. So yeah, guys, what do you think about this article? What do you think about all of this? We still don't have a concrete, like, confirmation of who the main villain is going to be in Batman Part 2, so who's it gonna be? Clayface, Court of Owls, Hush, Joker? Let me know down in the comments, and if you have other thoughts about the Batman Part 2, let me know down below. Also, my friends, make sure you like if you haven't, hit subscribe, and keep up the good vibes. Peace!